They are all working together to protect the blue, even a killer on their payroll. What are they hiding or covering up? We are asking for Chief Weber to be fired and Joseph Mensah to be convicted. This is why we have people out here protesting every day, fighting for our rights. There's 3 families grieving for their son. Give us the decency to at least give us the records we are requesting. Stop trumping up the charges for these records. We are families that are struggling to raise money. We don't have a GoFundMe page with close to $80,000 like Joseph Mensah. These donations to him are from people and police stations in the community. I miss my son so much.
It's okay, Queen.
I miss his smile. I miss his sense of humor. He had a daughter. Do you think that he would risk everything to kill somebody and leave his daughter and family behind?
Jonathan was stopped for a routine traffic stop in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Jonathan had a warrant for a non-violent crime and had no history of violent crimes. The trainee then noticed his hands were in the front of him and said he noticed a bulge. He closed the door and informed Officer O'Brien that there was something suspicious, and he noticed a bulge. Officer O'Brien flashed his flashlight while standing at the back of the trunk through the back window and said, "He has a gun." The video supplied to the family showed Jonathan moving around in the vehicle to see what was going on. At different times in this video, Jonathan was seen and heard sobbing. The officers are heard saying, "Jonathan, show us your hands." However, officers stated they could not hear him respond, nor did they see his hands. At one point, Jonathan wiped the windows off as requested because the windows of the vehicle were fogged over. The rear window was shot out and cleared, at which time Jonathan curled up in the fetal position and clearly stated, "What are you guys doing to me? I'm scared." You could hear them say, "Jonathan, show us your hands." And Jonathan replied, "Okay, I can't. I'm scared. Somebody help me." This was heard by an officer but was not acted upon. Immediately, the OC was administered, which hit Jonathan directly in the face. He quickly exited the vehicle through the back window. He immediately was shot with a beanbag round, which caused him to fall off the back of the car. He got up and ran, and another beanbag round was shot. Keep in mind, this all happened in a matter of seconds. As Jonathan ran, he ran into a transport vehicle, then turned, and at that point the canine had engaged with him. Officer O'Brien, who was outside the Sallyport door, came around the corner and shot 8 times. 5 of those bullets hit Jonathan. Officer O'Brien is now referred to as Sergeant O'Brien.
Jason was Ojibwe. Jason was a kind-hearted, soft kid who couldn't or wouldn't harm a fly. The story they portrayed in the media about him is not true. They said the same thing they said about George Floyd, that he was high on fentanyl. But the truth is, he wouldn't have been able to walk, or he would have died from a fentanyl overdose with the amount of fentanyl that they said that he had in his body. There was no body cam or dash cam video proving he was even a threat. The call that eventually led to Jason's murder was for reports of gunshots on a road in Odana for a totally different person. We believe that this was a case of mistaken identity. There was no knife recovered, only a cell phone, proving that the deputy's story about Jason charging him with a cleaver was a lie. Jason was a kind child. The use of lethal force was not needed. The deputy was 6 feet 3 inches tall and was a full-grown adult. Jason was 5 feet tall, 3 inches, and just a boy. He should be here with us. He should still be here with us. He could have been calmed down. He was a smart child who had great grades and was well respected by his teachers and his peers. The family of Jason Pirro thinks it's time. Joe Biden, the Democrats, and the mayors and council people of cities and towns everywhere quit making excuses for the police officers that murder people. They need to be thrown in prison and held accountable for their crimes. We won't rest until all victims of killer cops have seen justice.
I've been listening to these stories for over 50 years. That's about how long I've been in the movement. And the stories haven't changed that much. People being murdered by the cops, people being disrespected by the police, people being brutalized by the police, people complaining about the police being racist, people complaining about them being Ku Klux Klan. Well, it's been the same story, believe me, for 50 years. I'm only 77, so this shit has been going on way longer than that. This country was founded on genocide and slavery.
Yes, come on, man.
Let's be clear. You can get awful damn confused if you don't know the kind of quagmire that you're in.
Yes.
And the quagmire that you're in is this. This is not a broken situation. The system ain't broke. The system was designed to do exactly what the hell it's doing. And that's why we need community control of the police. Community control of the police. That's why we need it. We need it because we're dealing with fascist cops who are going to kill us at random and at will. And the only way that can be stopped is that we stop it.
Yes.
That's why I say all power to the people. All power to the people. Because it's not till we get that power that we're going to stop it. Didn't Joe Biden say he didn't want to defund?
Yes, he did.
But he praised John Lewis, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
They all did. All the hypocrites did. Praise John Lewis. Well, John Lewis went and stood on the Black Lives Matter written on the streets of Chicago before he died to say to his fellow congressmen, to the people and to the world that he stood with Black Lives Matter. So what the hell is wrong with Joe Biden? You need to get on the right side of the barricade. Well, at least acknowledge, at least acknowledge, because I know you ain't gonna get on our side of the barricade, but at least acknowledge. You know, we're not damn fools. Yeah, we're gonna do what we gotta do to defeat Trump. Because he's a fascist pig. But we ain't going down no blind alley with no politician talking about elect me and I'll set you free. We ain't doing that one either. We got to put some demands on these people. And we demand that they support our call for community control of the police. All power to the people. All power to the people.
So right now you have families of black men that have been murdered that are going to be standing behind that "We Can't Breathe" sign. And I believe the Black Lives Matter protesters, along with Yellow Vest protesters, are going to be marching several blocks away to the DNC convention building, which is right here in downtown Milwaukee. So you kind of have a mix of Black Lives Matter, Yellow Vesters, other organizations that are going to be marching to the DNC convention. Here's some of the Yellow Vesters we've been seeing over the nights. So I think they're all going to be marching together towards the DNC building. Hey, last night of the DNC convention here in Milwaukee, you got Biden speaking, which it's kind of the perfect contrast when you have Joe Biden speaking with this police brutality and murder that has been unleashed over the last few decades, in part because of the occupation and the weaponization of the police departments into occupying forces here in the United States. So we'll be seeing, I think, all of these people marching together. March is beginning, so we're going to be following these folks. Unlike a Trump rally, I see most people wearing masks. That's a positive thing. Tell me, tax the rich? I don't hear a lot about that at the convention this week.
No, I believe that both parties are pretty much owned by their corporate commanders, their corporate masters, and no matter what the any of us are saying, they're not going to listen to as long as their pockets are lined.
I would say it's not the best contrast, huh? Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Michael Bloomberg speaking tonight with Black Lives Matter protests. I don't think they're the right messengers.
No, and I don't think that Republicans have anything to add to the conversation either, but they keep booking them too.
We believe in all of the families should get justice. We believe in defunding the police and working towards abolition. But until then, community protection and accountability, or community protection and control, is a great idea until then, and we're just continually working forward. We just want progress.
You have a big sign over there, say their names. Obviously, say her name for Breonna Taylor. We went to Louisville a few weeks ago to cover the demands for justice for Breonna Taylor, which has not come yet. You mean Michael Bloomberg is not exciting enough for you?
Oh, you already know that he's trash. I mean, he was a Republican, what, two years ago? He's Republican. He's Republican. And you're that old, you're not going to change your views. You're not going to change your views.
And what do you buy? Do you buy the argument they're pushing? Yeah, we might not be your preferred choice, but Trump.
That's basically what they did with Hillary. That's how they snuffed out Bernie the first time. I wasn't angry with how Bernie went down in 2016, but how he fell down to corporate power was very disappointing, and it just wasn't right either way. So now we have Joe.
There's still a lot of police there for the amount of people here. Let's take a look at their sign. U.S. out of South America campaign presents March to Milwaukee. Tell me about, are you part of that? Yeah. What? Tell me about your campaign. Okay.
So this is U.S. out of South America. So we're a group that we're against U.S. military aid to governments in South America, such as Colombia, and these are governments which do not really respect activists, and people want to like change stuff, like change the way society is set up there, and so basically what we demand is that they end military aid to the government of Colombia, and I'm not sure if they still have the MRTA, but we were against the military aid to the government of Peru.
And this is a lot of names that I bet you most people have never heard of because the national media has never covered.
Yes, exactly. I mean, when you say, say their names, which one, I think that's one of the most powerful chants that we can have, is because there's just been too many for too long. Ever since this, nation started, it started off of genocide. It started off of kidnapping people and enslaving them, and we've built our wealth from there, and nothing's going to change unless the people decide that it's time for a change. And that's why.
Have you heard anything this week from the Democratic Party in their convention that makes you feel like they're going to actually do something?
Oops. So I haven't been watching too much because every time I do, it just feels like they're lying. It's hard to believe politicians who actually haven't shown up for the people, who just say that they do, but then they have all these corporate lobbyists in their pockets and funding their campaigns. And when you're having people fund campaigns like that, then it's hard to actually stand up for the people. You're standing up for the people that have put money into your pocket to get you to that position that you're in. And that's what we're here to dismantle. That's why, the establishment, their time is up. And it's time for the people, so.
What's your name?
I'm Kelsey.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Yes.
And Milwaukee, last time, less people came out for Hillary Clinton. So I don't feel like Joe Biden's doing much to entice
Yeah.
Younger people, young black people, young brown people? Are you hearing anything?
Yeah, well, I think also, I agree. I think that they can't listen to us chant with us, take our slogans, but not follow the policies that we're arguing for. I think the second thing is that we need to look at this structurally of what was happening in Ozaukee County with Judge Malloy, trying to take 250,000 people off the voter rolls. Most of those people on the north side of Milwaukee. Now, who lives on the north side of Milwaukee? Right? Why does 600,000 people have to vote at one place in Kentucky? Huh? Why are they underfunding the post office? I thought we were a democracy. Shouldn't we have the best running democracy if we're the first ones? We can send a man to the moon. We can't figure out voting. We can send a man to the moon. We can't end racism. We can send a man to the moon. And with most people who've died of the virus died where? America. America. So America pride stands in front of our progress. Our pride stands in front of our progress. You cannot fix problems if you don't admit there is a problem. The last thing I will say is that they say, make America great again. All right? Tell me a time. Tell me a date. 1955, 1960, 1920. All right? Switch places with me. Go back to 1920 and look like me. And then tell me America's great.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.